This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction to the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to another, feels like the same old story edition of the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. You can follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields. And there's really not much to say. As I put in the description of this, I put kind of in the title, I put in the thumbnail. It's the same story. It's rinse and repeat of every single loss on this road trip. The offense sometimes gets the lead. The other times the starting pitching kind of blows up. When they do get a lead, the offense can't extend the lead like they did tonight. They didn't in Minnesota. They didn't whenever the case may be. Then the bullpen allows at least 2 runs every single time. And that's just been rinse and repeat the last week. And it has caused the Rays to fall. They will be 5 games back of the Blue Jays in the East. And they will only be a game and a half up of the Red Sox in the wild card. So not much of this is not going to be an optimistic postcast if you guys are looking for that. But this one, we're going to talk about how the bullpen sells again. We're going to talk about how there were 9 free passes. 9 by the Rays pitching in this game. 6 walks, 3 hit by pitches. Anytime you out hit your opponent, I think it was, what would have found 8-4, and you lose by multiple runs, there's a bigger problem there. And a lot of that has to do with the offense going 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. We're going to talk about how can they fix this. And we're going to look ahead to see how the Rays can once again salvage not getting swept. But first, we're going to talk about what I think was more important than even the bullpen blowing another lead was how many missed opportunities the offense had.
This is what you'll be talking about.
After Aranda hit the home run in the first, the Rays got first and second, nobody out in the second. You had to score there. You had Flaherty on the ropes, and then you bail them out. And I know there's some, again, good defensive plays by the Tigers, this whatever, but you need to find a way to manufacture a run there. And then you go to the third, and Josh Lowe does come through. But I thought, again, the Rays could have scored even more there. And I know that's kind of getting greedy, but the big one, and what I think is the turning point in this one was in the top of the 7th when you have Cabby on second and you have Theis and Yandy coming up, and you just could not come through.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's the 7th inning in general. The top of the 7th when they couldn't come through. And that pitcher, I thought, was made for Yandy. He only throws changeups. And he threw 2 to Yandy that were right down the middle. And he missed them. I thought Theis had a really good at bat. I actually thought his one that he wrote foul was fair. And I thought the Rays were going to score the run there. But that just felt like such a monumental moment in the game. And then when they didn't score, I felt like the Rays were going to lose right when that happened. And when you go to the bottom of the 7th and you watch another one, the Rays had a stretch where they walked like 3 or 4 of the leadoff guys on. They walked him, not a hit, walked him. Again, 9 free passes. There were 6 walks. That's unacceptable. You're not going to win games doing that. The Tigers are too good. This team is too good to just allow them to hang around, to not extend the lead, to let them keep getting free passes. Then eventually you're going to get hurt. And the Rays did. And that was basically the story of the game. I mean, that is just that's just the overall story of this one. And, I see a lot of people get on Uceta, and I get it. I really do. But I think this is deeper down that the Rays have a problem with. I should say they're not putting him in positions to succeed. He's already made his 40th appearance. I mean, his arm might as well be a noodle at this point. I mean, I don't see the harm in doing like a phantom IL stint, just a 15-day, get him reset. And I don't even know if that's the best idea because the Rays have no bullpen depth at this point. But I don't understand why Uceta is in these spots over Orsi. If the Tigers did not score 2 off Uceta in the 7th, that Orsi was not coming in the 8th. It should be Orsi, Clevenger, Fairbanks until Rodriguez comes back. I don't know why you keep banging your head into the wall with Uceta. You know what he is at this point. And you can tell really by the first pitch of the outing. If he throws a high and outside fastball for a ball, it's going to be a rough outing. And what did he do the first pitch today? Threw a high and outside fastball. So there's really not much that you can do from that perspective. But, man, it's just it's not good enough, honestly, by the Rays. You're going to go on stretches throughout the year That's why I said when the Rays were the hottest team in baseball to enjoy this, because this isn't going to last forever. But I never thought they'd be crashing out like this, because in this stretch against the A's, the Twins, and the Tigers, I still think they should have won at least the A's and Twins series. The Tigers they probably should have won today, but it is what it is. And they're losing these games more than the other team is beating them. And that's what makes it even more frustrating. Like yesterday, the Tigers beat the Rays. The Tigers thoroughly outplayed the Rays. Today, it felt like the Rays were better. It felt like that the Rays could have, would have, but the Rays put themselves in a good position to win this game. And I guess a team like the Tigers, you're just not going to have that many, that many opportunities to do so. So, it is the sixth straight game that the Rays bullpen has allowed at least 2 runs. Thoroughly unacceptable. There's the stat out there is like 44 runs in the last 15 start. It's something just ridiculous. And I get hitters go through slumps, pitchers go through slumps, bullpens go through slumps, but I don't remember a bullpen for the Rays going through this extent of a slump. And maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, in a long, long, long time. So it is rough to say the least. And a lot of it had to do with the free passes. I mean, the walks, the hit by pitches. I mean, all of it was just a little bit too much in this one. But also tomorrow there will be no postcast because I am flying home, and my flight kind of got changed on the time. So I thought I was going to be back in time, but then I realized it's like a 12 Eastern start for the Rays. So not ideal by any means. But tomorrow will be the last postcast last time I will not have a postcast really through the rest of the season, unless something kind of crazy changes. But anyway, we're going to talk about how the Rays can possibly fix what's going on right now, and we're going to look ahead to what the Rays can do to potentially avoid the sweep right after this. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing. Whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've used FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with daily new promotions and fun ways to bet. And since it's kind of the dead time right now with no football, no basketball, it's really just baseball. You guys, they post daily promotions on baseball to make it even more enjoyable to bet. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5, get 150 in bonus bets. And if your first bet wins, open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. This episode is also brought to you by Open Phone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? Nope. You call the next one. That's why having a reliable business line is so important, and that's why you need Open Phone. Open Phone is the number one business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more who's handling this. Open Phone is offering Locked On Show listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have existing numbers with other service, Open Phone will port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. So I thank you guys for first of all, for joining. If you guys are in the live, make sure to leave a like and comment. I thank you guys for hanging with me. So I've been in Europe for the past 10 days. As you guys can see, I'm with kind of a college graduation present. So if you saw some of my friends in the background and this one, that's kind of what we're doing. We're on the way back. So that's why no postcast tomorrow. We'll be right back for the rest of the season on Friday or on Thursday for the Red Sox series, which all of a sudden turns into just to a massive, massive series because the Red Sox, I think last time I looked, were up 9-0. So they're going to be a game and a half back of the Rays. And that series turns just absolutely massive in Fenway. But let's talk about how can the Rays fix this? How can the Rays get back on track? And the easy answer is the bullpen just be better. But let's look a little bit deeper. I truly think the core of why the Rays have struggled is because of they're beating themselves, whether it's with errors, whether it's with walking guys, whether it's horrific at bats and terrible moments. It's not capitalizing, not doing the thing. They're not doing the things that they're doing so well when they were on their winning streak. And I think that is the core reason why they're not being successful right now. And I know it's easy. It's almost just like play better. But I truly think if the Rays play more clean, then they'll be in position to win a lot more games because they have not been playing clean lately. You cannot give 9 free passes to the Tigers and expect to win. This was a game where the Rays outplayed the Tigers, but the Tigers didn't make the mistakes that the Rays did. And that's literally, if you want a 2-sentence line of how the game went, it's that. It's the Rays beat themselves, the Tigers didn't. And against a team like the Tigers, the Rays aren't talented enough to beat themselves. The Rays are one of those teams where they feast off the other team's mistakes. That's what they're doing so well during their winning streak. And again, they're just not good enough to do that against elite teams like the Tigers. But again, they do have an opportunity to salvage a game from this series. It'll be Zach Littell versus Reese Olson. So Reese Olson's enjoyed a very good year for the Tigers. He was a little bit banged up throughout the year. He's only gone 53 innings. So he missed from May all the way to July. So his last start was actually his first start coming back from injury. He was pretty good. 4 1/3, 6 hits, just one earned run. But his last time out before the injury was against Toronto, where it's 6 innings of 1 hit ball, shutout baseball, six strikeouts. So the Rays have actually had success. So this will be the 3rd time the Rays face him. They faced him in 2024 last season, went 4 innings, 2 earned off him. So the Rays scored 2 runs off him in 4 innings. But in 2023, the Rays got on him pretty good. 5-8. The Rays actually won this game 8-0. And the Rays got 4 runs off him in 5 innings. So a guy that's been really good for the Tigers this year, but a guy that the Rays have had success against. And then for the Rays, I mean, it's old, reliable Zach Littell. I mean, you can almost bookmark Zach Littell going at least 5-6 innings, giving up 3 runs or less, and that's really all you can ask for. And in times like this, is that consistency from the starting pitching with which is what Ryan Pepio gave the Rays today. But again, the free passes also just came back to kill him. But we talked about since that April 10th game against the Angels, which was almost 3 months ago, Littell's only allowed more than 3 runs in a start one time. So hopefully that can translate once again for him. And I think that is I think that is something to look at. And I also think this is a good matchup for Zach Littell because Comerica Ballpark is a pitcher's park. It is long, it is long distances, and Littell pitches to contact, and it's mostly soft contact. But we know he's due for one home run a game at least. I mean, I don't know if he still leads the majors in home runs given up, but he did for a majority of his time. So again, the keys for this is the Rays have to score early, and they did today, but they have to score early, and your 2 best bullpen arms are available tomorrow. So, and they also brought up Seymour, and he can be an option tomorrow, a multi-inning guy. So again, there is a lot to look forward to, kind of optimistically for the Rays tomorrow. And I don't think that again, it depends how the Rays respond. The Rays have been really good at responding through adversity. This is another kind of adversity right now. The Tigers are the best team in baseball, and they're at home, where we talked about they're the best home team in baseball. So can you salvage a win and then go take 3 out of 4 at Boston? That leaves you with a much better taste in your mouth going into the All-Star break. But let's go to the comments. We'll start with Dante Hamilton. He said, not a lot clicking for these Rays right now. Great job by Pepe, Aranda, and Lowe. Everyone else needs to step up. I think other guys didn't have bad games. I thought Cabby played a great game. There's just little things like that save he had when the second run scored that tied the game. When Cammy threw it to Caballero, who scooped the ball and got the runner in a rundown and actually get it out. Again, that was a really tough handle. Also, at the single, was able to get the run in the second, which I really thought the Rays should have capitalized on. But yeah, but I don't disagree with you. As we go to Gary, says, hate to say it, this bullpen has become a dumpster fire. 46 earned runs over last 16 games. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it is just ridiculous. As we go to Craig Kurtzman, he says, DFA, you said it. Also, Pep was his own worst enemy. No one can throw strikes. The last 2 things I agree with. He was his own worst enemy. No one can throw strikes. But again, I think you said him needs more of a break than a DFA. And his stuff I still think is really good when it's on. But again, he needs. I honestly think he's thrown 3 times this year. 3 times this year. And he's thrown 3 times. 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 And he's thro Let me go get his exact innings that he's thrown. I know he made his 40th appearance today, which is kind of insane before the All-Star break, at least for for Rays or Rays pitching concern. So he's already thrown the second most innings of his career, only behind last year where he threw 41. He's thrown 40 already. And, the home run has been his big bugaboo this year, as he's already given up 10 home runs. Holy crap, 10 home runs. I didn't realize it was that much. But again, I'm still not on the DFAU set of train. I think the Rays have like 6 worse relief pitchers, not 6, but at least 4 worse relief pitchers in here than him. But as we go to Michael Tonley, he says, while I heavily disagree with continuously throwing you set out there in close games, the offense has to be better. You aren't winning many games with 2 runs. You aren't winning many 2 games with having scored 3 runs through 2 games. And again, it's not like Jack Flaherty, some world beater. He's not one of the 2. He's probably not one of the 3 best starters for the Tigers. And that's why I thought this was a game the Rays had to win. And it's not like he was dominant again today. I mean, the Rays put great pressure on him, but he made big pitches in big spots. I mean, that knuckle curve was really working for him today. And this is a guy that the Rays scored 7 off of just 3 starts ago for him. So I don't, again, it's just frustrating from that control. Again, Junior being All-Star is the only silver lining in this game. I see a few comments about that. And yeah, so well-deserved. And I'm happy. Hopefully, he can be in the home run derby as well. As go to Mike Gage. He said the whole bullpen struggles with control now. Is it fatigue? The All-Star break will be good for some downtime. I don't think there's a team in baseball that needs the All-Star break more than the Rays. I do think it's fatigue. I also think it's not putting guys in a position to succeed. I think they're throwing Montgomery guys before Montgomery got shut down. They're throwing him too much. And I've been on record saying that they're throwing Uceta way, way, way too much. As we go to Hannah Holmes, we have a first-time commenter, but we love the first-time comment. So definitely shout out to Hannah Holmes. She says, first-time commenting, but I've listened in the last few weeks. The bullpen needs a major change to the playoff one. We're not beating the pitcher. Yeah, I agree. And I think that bringing up Seymour and Joe Boyle will help that. But, Rodriguez being back will also help that. It kind of slides everyone back in the role that they're supposed to be in. So it will be interesting to see what will happen. But, hey, I always appreciate the first-time comments. So thank you very, very much. Do we have an Argenis birthday? Happy birthday, Argenis. That's fantastic. But as we go to Mike Gage, says, not that it matters, but whatever happened to DeLuca, Palacios, and Rodriguez, needs Rodriguez back. Rodriguez will be back after the All-Star break. DeLuca and Palacios, DeLuca might be out for the whole seaon. I've heard crickets on him, and even if he does come back, I don't think he's taking Chandler's spot. Palacios is something different. It was his knee. And again, I really don't know what's going on with him. But we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Again, if you guys joined it, make sure you leave a like and comment. If you guys are watching the replay, watching on listening on Apple Podcasts, or maybe watching/listening, make sure to leave a like and comment. Again, no postcast tomorrow, but we'll be right back on Thursday for the rest of the season. So hopefully it will be reverse luck. The Rays have not won a game since I've not done a postcast, so hopefully that is the opposite tomorrow. But until then, I will see you guys on Friday or on Thursday. Thank you guys for joining.